All right, and we are back with another video. This is Game Dog. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a long morning. So anyways, though, I made some progress on the game. It's been a really busy week. I have an exam in actually like an hour, so I'm trying to speed record this video because I have plans later tonight and it's just a busy day right now, busy week right now. But let's go over this game real quick. So, what did I do? What's the new changes? And yeah, so let me show you guys first the actual game progress, like the demo prototype, just so you guys can see the first before I yap for 10 minutes. Um, as you can see, when we load up the game, I'll make it big for a second, and we have this little world. Now, I can expand this with constant variables as much as I want. For now, I'm just keeping things small, just so I can get the basic mechanics down. But this is cool. So this little like circle is our world, and outside of this, the player can't move. There's no death right now. But as I move, you can see that I actually start growing in length. And in the bottom corner of the screen, bottom left, you can also see my score is increasing. So as I hold down the space bar, I boost, which which periodically spawns little orbs behind me. So this is similar to like the normal game. Now, I still haven't fixed the thing where like I don't stop moving. Also, the weird thing is like I have to figure out a way to make all the segments of the snake's body one like shape. Right now, they kind of move as individual pieces, which is cool until you realize you don't really see how long the snake is until it's boosting because the segments are chasing after each other, right? Versus when it's going slower, they have time to catch up, and so it looks like the snake is smaller than it actually is, right? Because it gets closer to the stopping movement. So I don't know. I have to like figure out a way to make that mechanic look better. But like I said, this is cool progress. If you guys didn't notice that as I eat the orbs, more spawn, right? So in every frame, we basically check the total amount of orbs in the world. And I'll show you guys the code, and it's basically like, okay, well, it's based on the map radius and then the total player count, right? So for me, for each player, I want about 50 orbs in the world. That's pretty much the game mechanics right now. And if I hit escape, then it goes out, it exits the game. And if I hit new game, you can see I spawn in as a new color. And whenever you leave the game, I actually have Bevy like despawn all the entities in the game world. So it pretty much fresh restarts everything, which is cool for testing because I can just do that. And now I'm a green snake. Real quick, I do want to show off my to-do list. I wrote this up in like 5 minutes. Um, but yeah, basically these are some things I plan to add to the game over time, next few months or however long it takes me to do this. But considering this is like my first time making a game other than like, tic-tac-toe and React. And I guess I made Sudoku one time, like a year ago, in Rust, but um this would be like my first little game attempt for real, for real. So that's fun. But let's get into some code real quick because this video, how long is this video? It's already been 7 minutes. That's crazy. So yeah, one thing I did add for performance, there was a bit of lag during testing. So I added this window setting config, right? And I made it adapt based on the game state. So what this means is basically like because of how Vivi works by default, it tries to render the game as fast as possible, right? Refresh, and that's really great for games, but for like instances like the loading screen, you don't need to be running at max, speeds, right? Because all you're doing is displaying text. So we can set it to low power mode in the update mode, so the game loop won't run as fast, right? And this basically just saves device resources, which is cool. And so the first thing I did is implement the orb system. And so how this works is we basically have we have three things. We have the spawn orb system, the orb collection system, and then we have the player movement, right? So let's go to look into the orb collection. Sorry, the orbs. Where is it? The orb spawn system. There we go. Yeah. So basically, what this does is it calculates like the orb count that we need in the game, which I'll show you guys what that's based on in a second. Then we get the current count of orbs, and then we basically say if the current orbs are less than. So I have the game calculate like a desired minimum that should always exist, and if that's less, then we spawn more. Which is why when you see when our player eats an orb, another one spawns somewhere else in the world. And I do this just because I want to keep, like I said, game resources as high as possible, without being like too crazy, obviously. And so that's what that does. And here's just a little math for this. And basically, every player gets like 50 orbs. I might lower this a little bit after I increase the map size and stuff. Like I said, everything's just kind of in prototype, so I can test out features. So, just does some little funky math. And then the orb collection system. So this is ran on orb collision with a player, right? And one thing I did add to most of all the entities, like the segments, is a radius, right? And this radius makes it really easy for us in the map side of things to just say, okay, well, are these two radiuses overlapping? If they are, then there was a collision, right? So, yeah, so if a player eats an orb, then we simply despawn this entity so it disappears. We increment the player score and we spawn a new segment on the player, right? Yeah, and then we increment the segment count as well. We track the count just so we can know how many loop iterations to do. Remove segments. Yeah, we just literally grab the segments to remove and then loop over that and despawn the entities. I also implemented snake growth, which is the spawn segment thing. So let's actually go to the player move function because that's where all some of the new code is. So for the move function, real quick, obviously game escape, we just set the game state. This also triggers in the system despawn, which it despawns everything that we have. So yeah. And then what else do we have? We basically iterate over the player. We grab the player speed and direction. I created this local variable so that when we're boosting, um, we don't actually change the speed for every player in the game. Only the current player that we're looping over, iterating over. Um, so yeah, basically we're just doing a little game dev stuff like grabbing the seconds so that we can track how long the player is boosting for because without tracking the time of boosting, whenever you boost, the player would just spit out like 100 different orbs, and that's not good. So we only spawn an orb every on a certain interval per boost second, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much how this works. Like I said, it's just deduct score every 1 second of boosting. We do all this stupid stuff. Also remove a segment whenever you lose a score. Um, and then yeah, we also spawn an orb and do some fancy map stuff. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm sorry for the pausing, by the way. I just don't feel like editing this video. Like I said, I literally have an exam um in like an hour. So I'm gonna go. I appreciate you guys watching though. Yeah, I literally just been rushing and I'm just busy, guys. Okay. But I appreciate everyone who is keeping up with the project. And feel free to leave a star on the GitHub as well. All this game is open source as always. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Until the next game devlog.